to Rogers TV.
Welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. Why am I laughing? Well, because my next guest and I always have a fantastic time in the kitchen. Mom in the know, Julie Finley joining me back on the show. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. You know, I feel like we get a lot talking about everything that we need to, and getting to know each other, and it's really about around the table. Like,
Agreed.
remember all those times? I feel lately everybody's kind of running and passing and high-fiving and grabbing snacks and...
Bye, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, see you, Dad.
Yeah. So I actually came up with a few things where you can't actually grab and go, because we're going to do some stuffed pesto peppers.
Stuffed pesto peppers. Okay,
yes.
Say that 5 times fast at home, friends.
Well, actually, what I was going to say is we could have done a little rhyme, but I actually wanted to ask you, what do you do with your peppers? Because all peppers are coming in season. Red, yellow, green.
I love
orange.
Peppers in a salad.
Yes.
I put peppers in my salad almost every single time.
It's
every
lovely,
time I make a salad, because I don't like just a lettuce salad.
No.
It's got to have some extras, and we've got so much produce, right?
Yes.
Here in Ontario that it makes it incredibly easy. I like to cook it as well, though. I like to grill peppers.
Okay, so I've got an idea. These are
Okay.
actually baked in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, or you can put them on the grill if you got one of the grill baskets. It's fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
So what you're going to do is already start with 2 cups of cooked rice, and then I'm just going to add pesto. That's my favorite part right there. So we don't have a lot of basil. It's starting to come out, but once it does, gather that up and make your own pesto. You don't need to do pine nuts. You can organize another nut in there to make sure. So
yeah, because
almonds,
pine nuts can be relatively expensive.
Can be, yeah, definitely. So I've got a half a cup of that, and then what I've done is sun-dried tomatoes, and I've rehydrated them, or you can use the ones packed with oil.
So how'd you do that? You just put them in oil or hot water?
Yeah, absolutely. So you get dry, and that's great to have as a staple in your pantry.
Yeah.
Added to anything, pasta sauces, casseroles. So I've got a quarter cup of that, and then I've got local Parmesan cheese.
Local
Parm? Yes. We have local
I did not know that.
Yes, and then...
All the Italians, though, at home right now, you know what they said, right? That's not real Parmesan cheese. You're crazy.
Well, it could be called something different, but it's definitely Parmesan cheese.
Right.
And then what I've done is almonds, but you can do pecans, you could do any type of nut inside. And then really what you're doing is you're just mixing this together. I'm going to get you to mix this in a little bit for me. And what I've done is I've actually taken our peppers, whole pepper like that, and I've split it in half, leaving the stems, and I've just cleaned the inside out.
And leaving the stem just makes it look good,
it does
right? Like
look
for
pretty.
presentation.
It does, yeah. And I mean, don't feel sad if they pop off, but that's okay.
Don't feel sad. You're like the sweetest lady. If you're at home and they pop off, don't be sad.
I am going to just grate some more Parmesan cheese, because after we stuff our peppers with the mixture you're mixing together, you're going to put them in a shallow dish, and you're going to cover them with tin foil, and you're going to cook them for 30 to 35 minutes until it's soft inside. Yeah. And then you're going to take the cover off, and you're going to sprinkle them with more Parmesan cheese.
That's your finishing touch? Yeah. And what, are you just browning the cheese? Or are you just
melting the cheese?
You're just melting it. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
So you're not putting it back in the oven.
So you're just literally, this will make up to 4 to 6 peppers. You're just doing this. So this could be a side for your grill if you're doing some pork or steak or chicken, or it could just be a vegetarian meal on its own.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Look at that.
I love tacos. The reason I love tacos is because there's so many different things you get to put in them.
Agreed.
So actually, when I lived in Mexico, they kept calling me gordita.
I didn't know you lived. You lived in Mexico?
I lived in Mexico for a year. I taught English. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I didn't say English very well right there.
That's not true.
It was just, after I played competitive with Stella, I took off for a year in 97, 96, 97. Okay. The year of the ice storm.
The year of the ice
storm, because I literally came home for Christmas, and then I got out the day before our city. Wow. So I never saw the ice storm. But don't worry, the news made it to Mexico. So
okay, good,
but
good.
I love just having everybody have an option. Do what you'd like. So what I'm going to do is I've added a variation, because asparagus, as we know, is in season.
Look at that asparagus.
I know. Look how big this is. I find, Dave even came in, he's like, that's big asparagus. Our asparagus is everywhere. You cannot miss it. If you don't know what to do it, just buy it, blanch it, freeze it, and go to foodlandontario.ca if you don't have time to deal with it. But if you do, so many quick and easy recipes at Foodland. And one of them is literally brushing them with a little bit of oil and barbecuing them. And so that is the insides for our tortillas, as is grilled steak, but grilled chicken, grilled pork. I just found steak on sale, so that was hallelujah. Nice. So that was perfect.
And the tacos are so versatile. You can do anything. Vegetarian, steak, chicken, you name it. Doesn't shrimp.
So what I find is you're always going to, in the summer, you love your salads. Try a little something different, a pico de gallo. So that's the idea of just taking, this is one greenhouse tomatoes. Our field tomatoes are on their way. But remember, like I told you, if I don't have a tomato out, you're looking for the little star on the bottom to see that they're or they're heavy to the field, then you know that they're ripe. And really what I've done is I've taken 3 tablespoons of white Ontario onion. Green onions are on their way too, so you're always sort of changing this pico de gallo as more things come into season. Cilantro, fantastic. If you're looking to grow something in the garden with the kids, cilantro is a great thing to add to it.
But it's a love-hate relationship.
I know.
Which I don't get, because I absolutely
do love it. I don't know anybody who actually hates it. Do you?
Anyone in this room hate it?
Anybody?
Anyone?
Okay.
Jewel, you like it?
Yeah.
Cilantro.
Cilantro.
Oh, she's got the thumbs down. Jewel.
Okay, well, that's good. We've met somebody.
One out of,
Jewel and
let's
Jewel.
see, we got 2.
So I've got, just to season it up, I've got chili peppers and a little bit of salt, and literally that's your pico de gallo. You can make it at any time, whip it up. You can be on any salad, but this is part of your inside for your tacos. So I've got a little bit of pico de gallo.
Nice.
I have one more thing that I'm going to make, which is sour cream. Everybody loves sour cream, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the sauce, and it's a chipotle, a hot sauce. So you're just going to stir that in.
Takes a little bite out of it too, right? Because it can be a little hot for some people, but this will take the bite out of it.
And I think what you're doing in the summer is you're just playing with flavors, because there's so many out there. Going to add a little bit of that, and then you've got your asparagus. You put that in there too. You've got a little bit of steak.
On the taco.
It's so delicious.
I'm in.
And then crumble some feta cheese, local feta cheese. I'll let you bite into that.
Okay.
That's why I gave you the apron.
Oh, I see.
It wasn't to get in the kitchen.
Should have given me a lobster bib. This thing could get ugly. We'll give this
delicious.
a try.
While you're doing that, I'll keep everybody occupied. It's good, eh? Isn't that delicious? And the longer you let the pico de gallo sit, the better. But then if you are just in a rush, this is beautiful. Slice up our local tomatoes. You've got local basil. You've got bocconcini cheese. You're literally just layering it like this.
One of my favorite sides.
Isn't this lovely? You can get a baguette just to be as a bigger filler, just a little bit of basil on top. This is great for kids to get an appetizer on the go. And then this is what's fun about summer.
Olive oil. Get some nice olive oil,
Thank you. Nice olive oil. Just invest in it. You don't need a lot, but it really does make a difference. You drizzle that on top, and then you're going to go with your local, this one actually is from BC, but we have our oils and vinegars from...
Is this a balsamic?
The refined. This is a balsamic glaze. So a little bit of a heat.
And you know what? The glaze is fantastic because it's a little bit sweeter. Perhaps. You know when you go to the grocery store, and nothing wrong with getting it, but some of it can be so acidic. Right? Because it's not true balsamic vinegar. This has the sweetness to it, so you could do something on this. You could put it on salad, and you can put it on like ice cream. Right?
I want to show you one more thing. Pickling. Do we have 2 seconds?
We don't.
10 seconds.
We don't.
I'm going to tell you about pickling when we do it. Let's pickle.
Okay.
Let's pickle.
We're going to come back with Mom in the Know, Julie Finley. We're going to do a little pickling, and we're talking rhubarb because it is rhubarb season. It is back early this year, isn't it?
It is. It's just popping up. No, we're almost in June. June 1st on the weekend.
June 1st on the weekend. We're good. We'll be back right after this.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details. Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV.
Are you low on food? Struggling to pay the bills? Overwhelmed by life's challenges? When you need support but don't know where to turn, just dial 211. 211 connects you to the programs or services near you.
211, how can I help you?
211. Help starts here.
Hi, I'm Paula Roy, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back into my kitchen for another season of Paula Roy's Favorite Foods. My approach to food is pretty straightforward. Fancy is fine, but when you're in a time crunch or have a really hungry and patient family to feed, I say simple recipes made with wholesome ingredients that you probably have on hand are the best. And that's exactly what you'll find on Paula Roy's Favorite Foods on Rogers TV.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show, back with Mom in the Know, Julie Finley. A reminder, all of these recipes available on foodlandontario.ca. Just look for TV recipes. There she is right there, Julie Finley, back for another segment. I knew it was inevitable. I keep telling her, just stay there for the first few seconds while I reintroduce you. You can't help yourself.
I'm so big.
You're not big.
Oh, I think I just got right in your shot. I'm so big.
Don't worry about
you know,
that.
I was just getting
it makes
excited.
it fun. What are we doing? We're doing some. No, we were going to talk pickling.
Yeah. So
very
you know what? I didn't get a chance to talk about pickling because all your vegetables are coming in. So even one more thing that you could add to that lovely taco that we just did is pickled radishes.
Oh, nice.
So radishes are in season. Everybody sees them. They actually stay in season for quite a while.
Yeah.
A lot of them come on a big bush. That's the easiest way to buy them. Quite inexpensive. They'll be at your markets.
Okay.
When you're storing them, slice off the leaves and put them in the bag.
Yeah, because the leaves will go bad on you pretty quick, right?
And it actually starts to wilt the radish a little bit. If you find that one radish is a little soft and the rest of them are hard, just put the radish in ice water for a couple of hours and it'll actually perk right back up. But what I've done is I've started boiling a half cup of water, and then I'm also going to do a half cup of vinegar. And I'm going to turn it to high with a half teaspoon of sugar and salt.
Excuse me.
Of course. I'm just going to get the salt
It's my
out.
taco. I tried to finish the whole thing during the break. I don't recommend that for those of you that are actually television hosts. It's not a great idea.
No, it doesn't always work that well.
No.
So I'm just going to wait for that to go for a boil, and then there it is. And I'm going to put in the radishes. And I've just julienned them, and I've only julienned 3 of them, so you could just double this recipe. Super easy. TV recipes, Foodland Ontario, if I'm going too fast. And now that they've come to a boil, I'm going to turn it off, leave it for 5 minutes, drain it, put it in the fridge. And you have them for salads, you have them for tacos, you have them for anything.
Okay.
This is what I'm really excited about. Rhubarb is coming out of the ground, literally.
I know, I've seen it. I've seen it like growing in people's gardens, like they've been posting them online.
Well, you should knock on the door and be like, do you need it?
I think that'd be a little creepy.
Well, I don't know.
Hi, I just noticed walking by you had some rhubarb in the garden. Do you mind if I don't know.
Or when, just walk by. If it looks like it's going on its way out, then save it. This is delicious.
Save it, people. Okay.
Save it. So right away, rhubarb.
Don't trespass.
Don't trespass. Okay. Rhubarb's in grocery stores. I left this little stem on. Cut that off. Do never eat the green parts of the rhubarb. The stem has like poisonous features to it.
What?
Yeah. It's actually, I don't know what it is. You can look at foodlandontario.ca,
they'll
food
tell
facts.
Tell us.
It'll tell you exactly what it is. It'll make you quite sick. Like it's not literally poison, but it will make you so sick. So don't bother doing it. You're looking for stalks that are pretty firm. And they've got a nice red. A lot of, if there's still greenhouse rhubarb, it'll have green speckles. Doesn't mean that it's not ripe, but it will have a milder flavor to it. So dark red. Right away, what we're going to do is we're going to make a compo that you can add on ice cream. You could put it in your smoothies. You could put it on your breakfast granola. You could do all those things. So really what I'm going to do is just turn this on. I've got a 1/3 cup of orange juice. Thank you. And I also have a 1/3 cup of, I already put it in. I already put the water in there.
Yeah.
And really all I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5 cups of rhubarb in here chopped. You can chop it finely, it'll break right down, or you can chop it thickly and it'll have little pieces in it. You're gonna keep that at a boil for about 7 minutes, stirring often. And then you let it cool down, and isn't that lovely? And smell it too. It's so nice. So you're adding a tiny bit of the orange juice just to sweeten it up a little bit.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so that's super easy. Then my next favorite thing is granola rhubarb muffins. So I love a good muffin because that's a grab and go. So right away I have the dry. I've got your little thing here. I can even go bigger. Here you go.
Good. All right.
Okay, we've got some flour to start. We're going to add in baking powder, 2 teaspoons. We're going to add in a combination of cinnamon and nutmeg.
All right.
And then we are going to also add a little bit of ginger.
Okay.
In there.
Nice.
So those are the nice spices. And then on the wet side, like any muffin, wet and dry together, we're going to add 2 Ontario eggs. All our eggs are Ontario. There's no way they're coming from anywhere else. That's right. You're okay to go. You've got
you pretty much don't even have to look anymore, right?
No, you don't. No,
right?
not at all.
If you're in Ontario, you can pretty much guarantee it.
Exactly. And we've got a little bit of oil. We've got a tablespoon of vanilla. We've got some milk, and we have some sugar.
All right.
But what you're going to add to your dry, while I'm doing this, is granola. This is a great cheat. Whatever granola, I don't know if you have granola cereal or you make granola, then you're adding that in. That is 1.5 cups.
That's a nice crunch
and this
flavor.
is actually the one I've grabbed is Nature's Best. It's kind of one in the organics.
I know the one you mean.
It's locally made as well.
We have 2 minutes left, by the way. Just giving you a heads up.
Okay, we're going to combine these together, and then you've got yourself some beautiful muffins.
Wonderful.
In 2 minutes, I'm going to show you how to make a crisp because that's about as long as it takes.
Okay.
So you're going to get an 8-cup pan. We already have our beauty over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add our honey to it. So 1/2 cup of honey.
All right.
We're going to add a tablespoon of flour, and our spices here, which are cinnamon and nutmeg.
Okay.
And a tiny bit of salt, and you're going to mix that together. You're going to pour it into your pan that is already partially greased.
You are a fast mover, Finley.
Oh yeah, you said 2 minutes.
Folks.
We got this, and then with the same bowl, because you don't want to lose any of that delicious honey. You are going to add in your oats, your brown sugar, your butter, and some more honey, and that is going to be the crumble on top. I know I went super fast, folks at home, but honestly, foodlandontario.ca, take advantage of everything that's in season. It's so fun. It's like a spring
And I look at it all
fair.
the time because, I'm in the same position you are as a viewer. Julie's going a mile a minute. I'm trying to keep everything in my head, but I don't have to do that because I just go to TV recipes at the website, and then these recipes will be there like right away. By the way.
See how fast that was? And in 35 minutes, you're literally done a lovely honey rhubarb crisp.
Nice.
So lots of deliciousness there. Get your vanilla ice cream out, or just put it in the fridge or freezer for when you're going to someone's house as a host gift. It's delightful.
I gotta say, you add the ice cream and it's a whole new level of delicious. It really is.
And that's why you want that compote, because really all you need is a little bit of ice cream, and that is a lovely dessert.
Agreed.
So make it ahead.
Mom in the Know, Julie Finley, everybody. Foodlandontario.ca, TV recipes. We'll be back with more right after this.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Johnny wanted to go back home. It was 1,000 kilometers away. They forced them to go to the Indian residential school. More than 150,000 of us children had to go. They wanted to change us.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Kill the Indian and the child. It's been called cultural genocide. I survived residential school. My brother Johnny did not.
Chani Wenjack was one of thousands of children who died due to Canada's residential school system. More than 80,000 survivors and their families still live with its legacy today.
I'm Sam LaPrade. Join us for the next Ottawa Business Matters. We've got lots to talk about, including what's happening at the airport and, of course, at the future Hard Rock. Join us then.
Join us for Season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have my next guest because this is just a fantastic initiative. It is running all the way through until October and showcasing the wonderful immigrant entrepreneurs that we have in our city. Some of them, I should say, because we have so many of them, we can't fit them in on all of them into just one initiative. I am joined by Carla Briona. She is the founder and CEO of Immigrant Entrepreneurship Canada. Welcome. Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. And Bitta Hoshru, she is the founder of Bitta Jewels. Welcome, Bitta. Great to have you here as well.
Much.
So tell me about before we get into this initiative, tell me a little bit about Immigrant Entrepreneurship Canada. Like, this idea came from you. Why did you decide on this?
Yeah, so I'm an immigrant entrepreneur. I'm originally from Mexico and had a really hard time, my family and I, with our businesses. We ended up opening businesses. And there was a moment where I was like, I wish somebody would help us kind of navigate the complexities of being in a new country and on top of that, opening a new business.
Right.
And I started doing it on my own, very ad hoc with people one-on-one. And then I'm like, you know what? There is no organization, national non-for-profit, to help immigrant entrepreneurs in Canada. So a year ago, I decided to incorporate a national non-for-profit, and the rest is history.
Nice. So this idea is a mix of two things, right? It's workshops with sort of an entrepreneurship boot camp, and then a pop-up. So walk me through what the program looks like, Carla.
Yeah, so IEC, so the organization is the umbrella organization, and then we'll be having different programs. This program is the Retail Incubator Program here for the City of Ottawa, where we've selected we have 21 immigrant entrepreneurs from 17 different countries from around the world, and help them incubate and accelerate them with workshops about how to register your business, how to do your business planning, to all the way on how to do marketing, how to do your accounting, so on and so forth. And after they're done their workshops, we have a pop-up location at the Byward Market, prime retail location, where they will take residency for a week individually, so it's rotating residencies, and they will be showcasing their products, test marketing their products, selling to real people, getting their name out there, and hoping to, push them into that next level of success for their business.
Nice. I love this idea. It's so great. I saw that you guys did sort of the grand opening just the other day, and it was magnificent. Bitta, tell me a little bit about yourself. You came to Canada in 2015, is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your background. You're in IT?
Yes, actually, I'm a cybersecurity engineer with more than 18 years experience on that field. I'm still working on that field too, but because of the lot of pressure that we have in this industry, I tried to start something as a hobby. I never thought about that this will be going to be my biggest dream.
Nice.
To make it as a business.
And that is designing jewelry. So where did that come from? This has been a passion of yours for how long now?
Specifically jewelry, I started less than a year ago.
Really?
Oh, wow. Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I did
Are
not
you
know
sure?
that part.
Have you always been creative?
Yes. As I remember myself, I was doing arts. Actually, I tried different side of the arts. Painting with different material, anything that you can imagine. But the pottery is the only art that I stuck in that, you know?
Right.
It's just not an art, it's a meditation for me.
Well, yeah, you brought some of the beautiful pieces along with you here. So let's do a little show and tell for everybody at home. Let's start over here. What have you got over here?
Yes, from here, actually because of my background, I'm coming from Iran. I try to showcasing my culture in some of the pieces, because finding what local customers' preferences is difficult. You know, I'm trying to do everything.
Yeah, I
trying to do every designs, and I found that Canadian also love the Iranian culture. And yeah, for example, this pendant is coming from the Persian rug design.
Okay.
Yes, and I painted with underglaze and glaze it, and then for the third time I add the real gold on that, and each piece spent more than 13 hours in a kiln in 3 different steps.
Wow.
And I learned doing the pottery from myself, looking video on YouTube, following the artists in Instagram.
Amazing.
And I'm a self-taught potter, but this is the thing I'm learning every single day.
Right.
Because it's a
like many entrepreneurs, right?
You have to do it that way.
It's a journey not only creatively, but also when it comes to the business side of it. You do pins and earrings, and so Carla, the workshop process that you bring all of these entrepreneurs through. What does that look like exactly? I mentioned a lot of it's on the business side.
Yes, absolutely. So we meet twice a week in May and in June, every single week. So there is a total of 18 workshops from all the different stages in the business side of things, right? So how do you plan for the business? How do you register a business? Let's open a bank account for your business. So lowering the barriers of entries and making it easier for entrepreneurs to feel supported and to feel not intimidated, because sometimes this can be very intimidating, right?
100%,
and
yeah.
then creating the community of fellow entrepreneurs to help each other out and to collaborate. I mean, Vita, you've done a great job also in encouraging everybody. So we're helping each other, and they're learning a lot of things, and they're doing business, and hopefully these businesses are going to grow.
Is this the goal for you, Vita? Is that this is what you'd want to be doing for as a career?
I hope so, yeah. And I'm on that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the criteria, Carla, is this something, looking towards the future, is something you want to continue doing and then having this pop up sort of on a yearly basis?
So funny enough, I've actually gotten requests from Atlantic Canada to start it in Atlantic Canada, to start it in the west of Canada, Toronto. I'm getting bombarded now with organizations who want us to bring that program in their cities.
Great news.
So I think this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is I hope.
You're a real go-getter. There's no one better, honestly, than Carla to have started something like this. And I mean that sincerely. Carla, Vita, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. ImmigrantEntrepreneurCanada.ca if you'd like to find out more information, and BitaJewels.com to find out more about Vita and the great work that she does. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's closing time, and you stayed out longer than you planned. So now you can't drive, and the buses have stopped running. You could always call your girlfriend. Or maybe your roommate? What about your best friend? You could just dial 1-888-TAXI-GUY or use the Taxi Guy app. The call and the app are free, and they both connect you to a local cab company to bring you home safely. Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
Hello, I'm Liz Dowdswell, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario. In 2008, carbon monoxide, a deadly invisible gas, killed an entire family in our province. That tragedy led to a new law requiring homes with potential CO sources to have alarms. John Gignac's family members passed away that day, and he shares his story to save others.
Please make sure you have working CO alarms in your home. Protect your family today.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
Nothing to see here. All calm and relaxed here. Controlled chaos is what I call it. I know I've said this before. One day we are going to have a show that shows you what happens during the breaks, my friends, because it can be quite entertaining. I'm so excited to have my next guest on the show. If you have not heard of Orchestra, if you've not gone to one of their concerts before, you are absolutely missing out. They have a fantastic concert coming up. Here to tell us more about it, I'm joined by Rebecca Russell. She's the Director of Development and Communications at Orchestra. Welcome back. Great to have you here, Rebecca.
Thank you so much.
And Tiffany Uzamir. She's an orchestra student and, as you can probably tell, a cello player joining us here on the show. So welcome, Tiffany. Great to have you here as well. Rebecca, for people that aren't familiar with Orchestra, tell us a little bit about the background and the history.
So Orchestra is a social development program that helps to empower kids and build community through music. So we offer free music lessons to kids from equity-deserving communities, and it's all about helping to build life skills, important life skills through singing and playing music together.
Yeah, I'd like you to touch a little bit more on that philosophy of building life skills, because you do really take it seriously. The founders take that very seriously. Can you just expand upon that?
Absolutely. So when you're playing music, there are so many wonderful skills that you're helping to build. So teamwork, you're listening, cooperation. Yeah, anything else that comes to mind for you, Tiffany?
Yeah, I would have to add discipline, coming every single week consistently. It helps build also friendships, people skills, things like that, yeah.
So Tiffany, how did you get involved? Why did you want to get involved?
Well, it's definitely my mom. She always wanted us to do extracurricular activities that she didn't have a chance to when she was young, so she put us in, and she really helped me get in there. I started playing the cello earlier than I was supposed to because my mom was really dedicated to it.
Nice. So did she choose the cello for you, or did you choose the instrument?
No, but she really wanted me to play an instrument. So when I was 7, she really pushed and asked if I could start playing early, and they let me, and so I gravitated to the cello, and yeah.
Nice. What do you like about that particular instrument?
Yeah, I think at the time I just liked that it was, strong, a very deep and powerful instrument. But now that I'm older, I feel like it really reflects who I am. I'm also really tall, I'm strong, and having the cello, I just feel like it's kind of the instrument I was supposed to play.
That is the best description anyone has ever given me about why they chose a particular instrument. Rebecca, what sort of ages are we talking about here? And this is a program that's not just a one and done type of program, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Tiffany has been with the program for 12 years, which is amazing. Yeah. She's graduating this year, so very exciting. So kids can start as early as 5 years old and stay with the program until, like Tiffany, they're graduating from high school. But we always say, you never have to leave the orchestra family. You can come back and volunteer. There's lots of ways to stay involved. So we have kids of all different backgrounds and age ranges, and it's a wonderful community atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing is, you know, perhaps Tiffany, I don't know if you want to make this your career down the road, but you do learn a lot of different skills when it comes to music in particular. And I'm sure you've had some of your students go on and have success in music, but success in other ways as well,
Absolutely.
Right, Rebecca?
Yeah, Tiffany is actually going on to become a nurse. You were telling me.
Yeah, definitely. And even though I'm not going into music specifically, I feel like orchestra has helped me kind of, you know, meet different people from different backgrounds and kind of get to know different perspectives. And I feel like that's something that's really interesting and important when you are working in the healthcare and like as a nurse and stuff like that.
Well, you come across too, Tiffany, as having a great deal of confidence. I mean, is that something that you've gotten from this program?
Definitely. I mean, playing in front of a bunch of people, parents and donors and things like that, it definitely like builds your confidence, especially when you've been working on a piece, you know, practicing, dedicating hours, and then you get to perform and have people clap for you. It's very something that gives a lot of courage and confidence. Yeah.
You have your end of year concert coming up, Rebecca. Let's talk about that, because there's a lot of different styles of music that people can enjoy, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got, you know, kind of jazz, we've got more classical, we've got some beautiful choral pieces, actually a piece that's from a video game originally. So folks are going to see a real range of music when they come to the show on June 11th. It's a free concert happening at Carleton Dominion Chalmers Centre. Yeah. And everybody in the community is welcome to come. It's an amazing, just a really great atmosphere, isn't it, Tiffany? Yeah. It's just a really great celebration of music and community, really upbeat evening.
Rebecca, did I read correctly? Is there a world premiere composition?
Yes, we have one of our teaching artists, Margaret Maria Tobolowska. She's actually one of the co-founders of Orchestra as well. She has written a new piece called Spring, which you will be playing. Is that right, Tiffany?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenging one, you know. She's a cello.
I love the honesty from you. Like, you're definitely a challenging one there.
Yes, yeah, she's a cellist as well, so she knows what the cello can do for sure.
So it's a great piece. It helps the cellos, and I'm sure all the instruments kind of go and challenge themselves when it comes to how far you can and what you can do with the cello and the range, and
Nice. And Rebecca, I think it's exciting too, and perhaps not every student has experienced it, but some of the students have experienced, like you've traveled, right? That like the students have traveled with Orchestra. They've done some pretty amazing things over the years.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. We've had wonderful opportunities. We performed at the Juno Awards in 2017 when they were here. We got to perform on Parliament Hill for the Canada 150 celebrations. We did the Governor General's Performing Arts last year. So we do get wonderful opportunities, and it's great because, you know, people are really recognizing the amazing talent we have here, you know, in Ottawa, and the opportunity, you know, for kids like Tiffany, you know, that wouldn't have otherwise had the chance, you know, to grow through music and grow personally as well.
Tiffany, can you play us out to break? Do you mind playing a little something for us? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Treaty in Cree is Naskomitoin, an oral agreement. And our agreements were always spoken. For George Spence, the core of treaty was Wichihioin, to help one another.
And so we, the commissioners...
He was there for the making of Treaty 9, where the Cree were told...
We will honor this agreement together for as long as the sun shines and the waters flow.
The Cree made their mark because they were assured that the land would be shared, and they would always be able to harvest what they needed. George Spence was my great-grandfather. In his life, he saw many promises of the treaty go unfulfilled.
Treaties were essential to the creation of Canada. First Nations still fight for the agreements to be honored.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Join us for the new season of Ottawa Storytellers, right here on Rogers TV. Welcome back to the show. I'm always surprised when I read some of the numbers when it comes to businesses and successes here and across the country. CAA has been helping out communities, people in communities for over 120 years, and it just like blew my mind. I happen to be a member myself, by the way. But there's a lot to think about, right? Where spring has begun, winter's been really difficult on our vehicles. Here to tell us what we should be taking into account when it comes to our spring maintenance and what we should be doing. Hassan Kairala is the Automotive Services Assistant Operations Manager with CAA North and Eastern Ontario. How do you like that? Hey, not bad. All in one breath. Hassan, welcome. Great to have you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk. First of all, about winter, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's been a little while, but winter really difficult, really tough on our vehicles. In what ways?
In a lot of ways, to be honest. I think winter affects our vehicle in every way, and one of the biggest ways is the battery, right? The electronics suffer during the winter, and especially during tough winters. If you're not driving your vehicle, you can potentially permanently damage or discharge your battery. So it's a good idea right now in the spring to make sure that you get it checked out. Do a visual inspection, but also if it's around that 3 to 5 year mark, there's a good chance that it's probably getting there. So you can always give us a call or take it to your local shop and get it inspected there.
So you'll actually come, you guys have a mobile service that comes and does like the testing of the battery?
Yeah, not only do we do the testing, so we have a technician that'll come out, inspect it, give you a summary or report. Maybe they'll tell you your battery's good, maybe they'll say it needs replacing. If it does need replacing, we have batteries on stock right then and there, and we could replace your battery as well.
Let's talk about some of those other components, right? Battery is sort of that big one that I think most of us probably think of, but the winter affects other components in our vehicle as well, right?
And we can talk about mechanical ones as much and as well as cosmetic ones, right? One to think about while we're under the hood. Good to think about fluids, right? So oil change is the lifeblood of your vehicle. So you want to make sure that you get that changed out. You want to check your other fluids because over the winter, we could use a lot of them and not think that we're running low. So you want to check your transmission fluid, your brake fluid, your power steering fluid, your windshield washer fluid is another big one. And on your body, you want to make sure that you're checking out your vehicle for salt or other things that could potentially damage your body.
You guys continue to expand on your offerings. We mentioned, mobile battery. What are some of the newer things that you've introduced?
So we've had mobile tire swaps as well for a couple of years now, and that one's been pretty successful. A lot of people really like that service. But in addition to that, now we cover, I would say, everything that you need to maintain your vehicle. We offer it in this mobile format.
Okay.
So we have mobile auto repair where we can come and actually diagnose your vehicle. So if you hear a weird sound coming from your vehicle, you can give us a call. We'll have our licensed mechanic come out and diagnose it for you and perform the repair on the spot or within the same day if it's something that could be repaired there. If it's something bigger, we can take it into the shop.
When it comes to that multi-point inspection, how important is that? Like, what are you guys exactly? What are you looking for in those?
What we're looking for is we just want to make sure that the vehicle is in safe operating. Basically, functionality. We want to make sure that all components of the vehicle, from the engine to the suspension, to your brakes, to your lights, are all working properly. So the multi-point inspection is a really good idea if you're ever buying a car or selling a car, or if it's just been a long time and you want to know, how good of a shape is my car in? Is it getting close to the end of its life, or can I use it for a couple more years? And that's what we've received from members. Members said, I thought my car was donezo, but I can have it for another 4 years now because of this inspection, yeah.
I think we all understand the importance of winter tires, right, and putting those winter tires on. How important is it on the opposite side of things, is switching them out and going to your summer or all-season tire?
So it's really important. The same reason that we say you should have your winter tires on is the same reason that we say you should have your summer tires on. Not only does it give you the best chance at being safe on the road, but also your winter tires are made with a softer rubber compound, so they wear out a lot more quickly in the spring.
Okay.
So what happens is you want to change them at the appropriate time to your summer tires, and then basically that's what will make sure that your tires are behaving the way they should.
I think obviously people know that they should have been changed by now, but you know, as you come into sort of spring, what is the like, is there a certain time that you should be looking at, like, or temperature, I guess?
Yeah. So our rule of thumb is basically 7 above 7. And that means when we've had 7 days of above 7 degrees or higher Celsius, then it's time to change your tires.
Okay. What about tire inflation? Let's talk a little bit about that and why that's important, because it's different, right, between winter and spring and summer, fall.
So it can be different depending on the properties of the tire that you're using, but the important thing about tire pressure, and it's oftentimes overlooked, is that the air pressure in your tires accounts for 95% of your vehicle's weight. So it's basically responsible for 95% of your vehicle's weight. So just one tire being underinflated by 8 psi could reduce your tire's lifespan by around 15,000 kilometers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. When you have your 24/7 service, when it comes to people getting stuck, like, what are some of the more common reasons that you find yourselves coming to help somebody out that's sort of stranded on the side of the road?
To be honest, a lot of the stuff that we mentioned now, and this is what I would come back to and say, it's always good to be proactive, because you don't want to be in that situation, right? Obviously, we're there for you, but ideally, we don't want you to have to be in that situation. So we get a lot of the same stuff, like the battery just failed on them. They parked their car at the grocery store. When they came out, it didn't work anymore. Or a flat tire, right? Their tire was getting towards the end of its life, and then it just popped on the road or something like that, or they went over a nail. That's inevitable, but stuff like that is usually our more common calls.
Yeah, and I think, for a lot of us, and, I think I have found myself in that situation where, to maintain your vehicle, we understand it does cost money, right? And I had a period of time where I did nothing. And I suffered the consequences from doing nothing. That early investment and continuing investment, it really does pay off down the road, right?
The most simple thing you could do, and I know it sounds like, but that $300 to buy this or to pay for this, but it may save you $3,000 down the line, right? So I'm an advocate, and your owner's manual is the best place to check for all of your scheduled maintenance.
Very quickly, on the bicycle side of things, you guys are now offering help with people that are cyclists as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we offer Bike Assist, which is if you have a bicycle and you break down on the side of the road, we'll come pick you up, and we'll take care of you there.
It's amazing. Yeah. You guys keep expanding. I can't wait to hear what's next. Really appreciate the time today, Hassan. Thank you so much. By the way, you can find out all the information at caaneo.ca. Better yet, go to getcaa.ca to find out information. They have travel insurance and car insurance and you name it. We'll be back with more Daytime right after this. Don't go anywhere.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
Watch Podium exclusively on Rogers TV.
I'm Sam LaPrade. Join us for the next Ottawa Business Matters. We've got lots to talk about, including what's happening at the airport and, of course, at the future Hard Rock. Join us then.
Join us for season 4 of Simply Cooking by Chef, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the show. I'm going to start this segment by sharing a statistic with you, but probably won't surprise you. Since 1980, the life expectancy of Canadians has gone from 75 years old to 83 years old. And that's why it's so incredibly important more than ever to make sure that you plan for some of those things, especially perhaps some of those unexpected things that happen as we all age as Canadians. Here to help us with that, I am joined by Douglas Lai. He's a wealth advisor and portfolio manager with Scotia Wealth Management. Welcome back, Doug. Great to have you here. I mean, you're starting to see even, we can even break it down further. For those that are retiring at age 65, we're seeing that life expectancy even go up closer to 86 years old. This is all good news, right, Doug? Except that you have a lot of clients that haven't necessarily planned properly. Let's talk about that and why that's important, Doug.
It's safe to say that we're living longer, and so if that's the case, we might need, from a financial standpoint, to save up a larger nest egg. You want to make sure that you're going to be financially secure to accommodate that longer lifespan, right? And like you're saying, it ties into basically health. So not only the potential for a longer lifespan, but you need to plan around the potential for changes in health that might change the actual outcome of costs associated with your lifestyle as well.
Yeah, and there's a few ways we're going to look at this today, and one of them is, let's say retirement home. Perhaps, you don't need to go into long-term care, but there are certain things that you can no longer do for a variety of different reasons. The financial implications of moving into a retirement home, what are we looking at financially?
When it comes, so I would distinguish between long-term care services, but as well as potential for in-home care, because it's very common that some of the clients that we work with, they don't voluntarily want to leave their home. They want to say, I want to stay at home for as long as possible. But sometimes, again, health becomes a consideration. Now, if we focus on long-term care, it's quite incredible, but once you hit age 85 or older, right? Actually, right now, currently, today, about a third of Canadians that are 85 or older live and use long-term care facilities, right? And where it becomes interesting for us is we look at, okay, how do you plan for that? Yeah. And right now, actually, only about 10% of Canadians are focusing on saving or have thought about saving for that long-term care outcome. Right. So we dig further and we say, okay, well, how is this going to impact you dollar-wise? And for within Ontario, for a private room, that can cost quite a penny, right? It can stretch from anywhere from $1,800 a month, rather, all the way to north of $8,000 a month. Right? So that's going to be a very significant cost and potential stress on a family's finances. Well, and as you mentioned it perfectly, a lot of people, they want to stay in their home. And, luckily we do have the opportunity here in this country to have in-home care. What are we looking at as far as in-home care goes? Right. So in terms of in-home care, looked at some research, especially through the Canadian Medical Association. And, through that research, for someone to help out at home for about 22 hours per week, so call it 3 hours a day, roughly, it's still going to cost about $3,500 per month to have that person support your loved one or someone at home, right? So again, you can really see how this stretches from tangents where if you're at home, a lot of people say, I'll just sell my home to accommodate these costs. Yeah. Well, if now you have someone coming in at home and you're living at home and you want to live at home, now you have to look at alternatives in terms of what pension income streams, what other investment assets are there to, again, support you long-term to really secure your lifestyle.
Yeah, and people are a little stressed. I mean, because recently we've seen lower returns, right, on some investments. For people that are worried about that, Doug, what do you suggest that they do? So should they diversify more? What's the best plan?
It's a really good question. At the end of the day, we go through a financial planning process or some version of a financial plan for every single one of the clients that we work with. And in terms of that financial plan, we embed a very conservative model. Okay. And what I mean by that, so for example, when we talk about life expectancy, we actually use a minimum age life expectancy of 95 for all of our clients. That might sound silly to some, but at the end of the day, it creates a level and buffer for those uncertainties. So if we go through a period of an economic slowdown, if returns for a period have not been, to the extent of how optimistic you had anticipated, you know that you can get through those humps and still be okay at the other end of the end of the tunnel.
What about some of those other unexpected things we should take into consideration? What else should we be thinking about?
So I've come across a few scenarios more recently. One, to be honest, when it comes to long-term care, the waiting period is a surprise to a lot of people because they plan later in life. They think it's not going to happen to me, or it's so far into the future we don't need to think about it now. It can be something where if it comes around and turns a corner, you're in a queue waiting to get in line for those services, and now again you're scrambling to say, okay, can someone help out and on the health side at home immediately, and then again it can impact the cost side of things, right? One of the things that's interesting is when you have a family dynamic with, let's say, two spouses or two partners, where from a health standpoint, one is healthy, but the other might need additional services. Right. And so that can change the dynamic from a financial standpoint, where if one person needs a certain level of care, needs to move into a long-term care facility, right? If we look at the home again, the other is saying, I'm healthy, I want to stay at home.
That's a totally different dynamic for sure. Doug, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks,
really appreciate it. Findyournumber.ca, by the way, if you want to get some help by Doug and anyone else on his team, they'd be happy to sit down with you. We'll be back with more right after this.
Learn all about the creation of the National Capital Region on The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, on Rogers TV.
You're watching an interesting local show on Rogers TV and you want to know more. That's when you head to rogerstv.com. Our website provides more information about our programs, our hosts, our schedule, and about how you too can get involved with Rogers TV. Visit us online at rogerstv.com.
I'm Sam LaPrade. I hope you join us for an hour to give right here on Rogers TV. We're going to talk about everything that is going to inspire you about this beautiful city.
Welcome back to the show. Just want to mention a couple of things from today's show. First and foremost, that Orchestra Center Hub End of the Year concert. I've gone to a couple of their concerts. They're so good. Really encourage you to go, because the best news is the concerts are free of charge. You do have to pre-register, so make sure you visit the website orchestra.ca. That's happening at the Carleton Dominion Chalmers Center on Tuesday, June 11th at 6:30 p.m. The concert itself runs about 75 minutes, and again, I highly encourage you to check that out. Big congratulations again to Carla and the team at Immigrant Entrepreneur Canada. A reminder that pop-up for entrepreneurs, immigrant entrepreneurs, is happening down in the Byward Market. It's a great space down there. That runs all the way until the end of October, so you'll be introduced to some wonderful immigrant entrepreneurs throughout the summer, right into the fall. You can find out more information at immigrantentrepreneurcanada.ca on that. Great show for you tomorrow. Lucia Zagumas joins us on the show. She's going to be talking about summer vacations and how to pack properly. And we'll tell you about a great rosé and bubbles event that's coming up. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Ottawa, it's the national capital of Canada. But how much do you know about the city's history? This is Phil Jenkins. Join me as I take you on a journey through Bytown's beginnings, Ottawa's crowning as capital, amalgamation, and its becoming a city of 1 million citizens. Watch The History of Ottawa, according to Phil Jenkins, exclusively on Rogers TV.
Some of Canada's most interesting and accomplished people share their lives, careers, insights, and stories each week on Canada Files. I'm Valerie Pringle.